Yes. Perfect.
I was just going to ask if you saw that.
Yeah, he's gonna. And
Oh, that's what the sign's for. I saw it.
yeah. We got a lot of announcements.
I didn't hear you.
I have a lot of announcements.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, that's yours. No,
Yeah,
yours
I
is
know.
there. I've left it in here just so that I know what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
What?
I guess maybe we'll find a kid sometime in the next couple months.
Only one or two so far, so.
Yeah. Morning. Oh, that's much better.
So if you're the one dinging the dinger, Kais has asked us not to put it into the microphone.
Fair enough.
Too much feedback.
Yep.
Is there another one of those? Yes. So apparently the bell is manually ringing.
Correct. Probably not something to try to do right now.
Run up there and do it. No? What?
Mr. Cycles.
All right. So I got the welcome and then the intro, so you're good.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to First Parish Brewster. Our church, founded in 1700, is part of a living tradition, one that draws wisdom from all the world's religious traditions, balanced with the insights of modern science. Here we call ourselves seekers after truth and practical goodness, because with all there is to know, the one thing we can all be sure of is that none of us have all of the answers. Instead, what our ancestors have taught us is that community, character, and curiosity are 3 stars by which we might navigate our collective and collaborative journey towards truth, justice, friendship, and meaning in this modern world. So if that speaks to you, know that you are most welcome here. Exactly. I am the Reverend Scott Hull. My pronouns are he and him, and I am one half of your First Parish ministry team. I'm joined today by Reverend Julia, the other half. That was really nice. We want to offer our gratitude this morning to Kaeza and our musicians, Anna and our RE team, our greeters and our ushers and our tech team, and all of the others that made today possible. To our online friends, wherever this day may find you, know that we are thinking of you and so grateful to have you within our company. And if you happen to be new here this morning, whether in person or online, a very special welcome to you also. Studies have shown that you are both worldly and wise. And if information about First Parish, with all of the fabulous things we do here, is what you seek, then you are invited to fill out a welcome card, or if you'd prefer, you can just drop a note to the administrator at Administrator First Parish Brewster, and we will endeavor to connect you. My friends, today is a special day, another special day. Today, Anna is here to help us bless the backpacks, and we're very excited to have that. Yay. Hold up. We'll get there. I'm just happy that we're going to get to kick off yet another year of children and youth ministries here at First Parish. So I would love to, at this moment, introduce my friend and colleague, Anna. Anna, would you do me a favor and rise? Let's go for a warm welcome. Thank you all. Now some reminders. Immediately after today's service, you have been invited to join the, this is the landscape committee, join the landscape committee out in the Memorial Garden. Today we're going to be honoring 5 new names added to our memorial post. Dick Curtis, Sue Daly, Alicia Longriver Davis, Monica Gubard, and Lester, was it Gubard? Gubard, and Lester Moeller. We hope to see you all out there immediately following today's service. Also, after today's service, across the street at Winslow, the Winslow House lawn, we're going to be hosting a snow CYM picnic. I'm told there will be barbecue. So maybe we will see you there as well. Magic and mayhem will certainly abound. Your ministers, that's us, would also like the opportunity to get to know you a little better, and that is why we have yet more of these Meet the Minister meetings scheduled throughout this week and next. If you have not signed up and you would like to do so, there may still be a sign up in the parish room, but if not, just send me an email and I'll make sure you get sorted. Hope to see you at one of those. I'm going to defer to Kristen about the covenant group signups. Just put a note in your mental hopper for that. We'll come back to that in a moment. But I did want to mention this Thursday, this coming Thursday, right? At the Orpheum, Chatham Orpheum Theater, our Reproductive Rights Task Force is sponsoring a showing of Preconceived. It's next week. Next week. You have 2 weeks. Hot dog. It's a documentary. This documentary film is about the so-called crisis pregnancy centers that are set up across the country. Some really powerful testimonies. So if you've got some interest and time, I would love to see you there. 2 last things. Next Sunday at 2 p.m., and I believe that's going to be here, right, Kaeza? It's the Sing for Unity. Sing for Unity. It's a really cool event. It's going on across, I think, the entire state, maybe even the country. The world. Holy crap, the whole world. So you are all invited to come and sing your head off next Sunday. It'll be great. I highly recommend it, and I think it sounds like a lot of fun. Last but not least, I have a note, came in 5 minutes ago. I saw the signs as I was driving in, but since I'm new and horribly uninformed, I didn't know what it was about. But the Pan Mass Challenge bike ride is today, and they are raising money for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And they offer up a prayer for those of us that they know of, at least, with current cancer diagnoses, including my beloved wife, Julia Jones, also people that you also are familiar with, Laura Gill, Marie Hartley, Barry, and Joanne Powers, and Pat and Sue Gubbins. So if you'd like to keep an eye out for that, wave them in at least thought or spirit as they pass by our wonderful community, please do so. There are more announcements, more cool things happening in your weekly newsletter, so please do check that out as well. And with a deep breath in, whew, that was a lot. So we are hoping now at this moment to find a comfortable seat. So just squish down into that chair and do me a favor and join me in a slow breath. And let it go. Yeah, that's a good one. One more. In and out. One more. In, hold it, and then slowly release. Take a few more of these over the next moment or so. And with each release, what I want you to imagine yourself doing is releasing whatever it is that you might need to release, to let go of, to send off into the world. Whatever it is that you may need to do, to get rid of, to let go of, to be more fully present to yourself, to one another, and to the possibility of the sacred in this time and place.
People, the ones that make you feel alright, the kind you want to stay up with all night. You gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel whole, that won't leave your side when you lose control, the ones that don't let you lose your soul. You gotta find your people, the ones that get the joke, who understand what you're saying before a word is spoke. You gotta find your people that put the needle in the groove. When you're together, you got nothing to prove. When you're together, you got nothing to lose. In a world of strangers, you don't know who to trust. All you see is danger, trying to find what you lost. Can't go it alone, everybody needs help. You gotta find your people, then you'll find yourself. You gotta find your people, call your bluff, who'll ride along when the road is rough. Gotta find your people, the ones that make you feel equal. They pick you up and don't put you down, help you find your way in the lost and found. In a world of strangers, you don't know who to trust. All you see is danger, trying to find what you lost. Can't go it alone, everybody needs help. You gotta find your people, then you'll find yourself. The ones that understand you, the ones that lend a hand to you, the ones that don't demand anything from you. ones that make you feel alright, that tell you the truth and wish you well. You gotta find your people, then you'll find yourself. You gotta find your people, then you'll find yourself.
That might take a minute. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from May Your Call Be Awakened, and a little response to that in writing between Michelle LaGrave and myself, and I didn't tell her. We come to religious community from many paths and with diverse needs. If you have come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you have come here looking for answers, may you find new questions. If you have come here seeking purpose, may your call be awakened. If you have come here hoping to build a new way, may the path open before you. I call you now to sacred space, to sacred time, to a conscious decision to be here, now, in a community for just this morning. The reciprocity in this choice is the giving of our willingness and our attention, that we might remember who we are, not just as individuals outside of these walls, but in our collective, with chosen family, with chosen faith, with open hearts and unanswered questions. This is our time, beloved companions, to breathe deeply of both oxygen and safety, to set aside the cares of the world, its violence, and its petty distractions both. As we hold one another in loving community, it is time to replenish, to renew in the company of souls committed to our shared nourishment. May it be so. Please rise and embody your spirit and join in our affirmation by responding in the words in italics in your order of service. We believe in love.
Love is the doctrine of this church.
We believe in truth.
The quest for truth is the sacrament.
We believe in helping others.
And service is our prayer.
We believe in the sacredness of life.
To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine.
And we will sing our opening hymn this morning from the Gray Hymnal. It's 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. 361.
Enter, rejoice.
hello. I see some children up at the top. Can you all come forward with your bags if you have them? If you don't need it. It's okay. So come on down. And, this is a blessing of the backpacks for all the children, but I also want to acknowledge, too, that many of us adults have some new things happening this year. And so know that when we say these words, we're thinking of you as well. All right. Well, good morning. How are you today? So glad to see you. Okay. So I'm very happy to be with all of you today. And for those that brought their bags and their backpacks, grab them. You can put them on your back, have them to your side, hold them in your hands, however is most comfortable for you. And if you don't have one, again, that's just fine. These backpacks carry so much more than just notebooks, pencils, and tools for learning. They also carry your hopes, your dreams, and your aspirations. Aspirations for learning, for growth, and for new beginnings. A new school year always brings anticipation, excitement, with maybe a little bit of nervousness. As we step into the new opportunities and new adventures. Here at First Parish, we bless your backpacks as a ritual to remind you that this is a safe space. This is a place where you belong fully, just as you are, where your whole self is welcomed and loved. Lost my place, sorry about that. Whether your school is a building, at home, or in the wider world, it is an important part of your spiritual journey, and through it all, we are here to remind you, you are loved, you are important, and you are supported. As you look around the room, you'll see people who you know well and others you may not know yet. But every single person here is cheering you on. We hold you in our hearts as you sit in class, walk through the hallways, spend time at home, or exploring the world. There are so many wonderful things about belonging to First Parish Brewster, but the most important is this. No matter where life takes you, this community has your back. So now, congregation, are you ready to bless these children and youth as they begin another year of learning, growing, spreading kindness, and discovering what it means to be a part of the First Parish Brewster Unitarian Universalist community? Yes. Children and youth. All right, here we go. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. I'm a little helper. Take the little guys. All right. How we doing? All right, redo. Children and youth, even when you are away from First Parish, you carry the heart of Unitarian Universalism with you wherever you go. May you feel curiosity all your days. May your imagination catch fire. May you find courage when it is necessary. May confusion lead to better questions. May you feel compassion towards those around you and they towards you. May you feel heard and seen. May you hear and see others. May you speak up for those who are not heard and who are not seen. We are all made stronger when you share what you learn with us. And we listen to your wisdom. We ask you to bring what you learn of the world back to this place. If you agree, say we will. All right, kids? You can say you will. You will? Awesome. All right. Congregation, will you support our young people being a part of the village that helps them learn and grow? Will you continue to nurture First Parish Brewster as a safe and welcoming community where they can be their authentic selves, free from judgment and surrounded by love and support as they grow, learn, and thrive? All right. Ready, kiddos? Each of you will leave with a piece of your First Parish community to put on your bag and take with you as a reminder of our blessing to you.
I think so. That's amazing. It is amazing.
Thank you to all the lovely people who created them for you.
Can we give a round of applause for our young people starting off in the year?
Let's go ahead and sing our kids out. Let's take a moment and welcome our neighbors and guests. I'll be ringing the bowl to call you back to service. Thank you, Kristen. right, settle down. And now we're going to hear from Kristen Knowles.
Good morning. I am so glad to be here with you today. Since this is the first time I've been to a service since mid-July, my former Catholic self is racked with guilt, but my inner UU is like, no problem. You're here now, right? When I was asked to speak about my experience with participating in our covenant groups, I immediately agreed, and very enthusiastically. And this is because I've been part of several groups, I think 7, over the past many years, and the experience has been unfailingly powerful. It may be only a couple of hours once a month, but the impact carries over into my day-to-day life, in my relationships, sense of well-being, and perspective on the world. There aren't many places we can go these days to express our truth with unfiltered honesty, our deepest fears, hopes, and longings, our heartbreaks and joys, existential questions and epiphanies. But in a covenant group, we are encouraged to go there. I think the Soul Matters curriculum is one of the reasons. We receive it in advance, and it's extraordinary, really. It's so well crafted, incredibly diverse and rich with wisdom from a multitude of sources, each framing the month's topic with different angles and perspectives, which we are then able to reflect upon before each group meeting. The main reason I love being in a covenant group, however, is the intimacy which develops amongst the members. For me, the practice of deep listening not only quiets my brain's ceaseless chatter, but opens me up to feel the energy of the moment, to hear each person with my full presence, and in turn, experience the validation of being seen and heard. I love the sharing of personal stories, alternately fascinating, inspiring, painful, surprising, and sometimes completely hilarious. Over time, my sense of affection for each person grows exponentially more tender and heartfelt. Our connections strengthen and empathy deepens. We are no longer strangers, bobbing at the surface, aware of the depths, but afraid to go there. We are changed in the most essentially human, healing, and uplifting way, and those bonds endure. On days when I am low, when hope feels like a needle in the haystack, even sharing eye contact and a smile with one of these folks, or a hug in the grocery store, can be a lifeline. So I would encourage you to consider joining one of our covenant groups and open yourself to the experience. For me, it has been transformative. Thank you. And I will say that, or I want to say that in the parish room after the service, there is a place you can sign up for the covenant groups, and they're filling quickly. So check it out. Thank you.
This community is our community of faith, hope, and service. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its gifts are what we share. By contributing to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. This morning's offering is a split plate with UU Ministry for Earth, which is the leading environmental organization among UU congregations, providing information and resources for congregational activities throughout the year, but especially leading up to Earth Day. The Ministry for Earth provides worship materials, tools, resources, sermons, and ideas. The morning's offering, which benefits both us and the ministry we've selected, will now be gratefully received and put to use in service of our shared values.
If you knew me, would you save that seat for me? If you knew me, would you finally let me free? We're all blood, blood brothers. We're all blood, blood brothers. If you loved me, would you hold on to my hand? If you love me, would you finally understand that we're all blood, blood brothers. We're all blood, blood brothers. What you need, I need too. What you are, I am too. 'Cause we're all the same under a different name. We're all blood, blood brothers. Would you lift me from the ground? If you loved me, would you even hear me make a sound? We're all blood, blood brothers. We're all blood, blood brothers. What you need, I need too. What you are, I am too. 'Cause we're all the same under a different name. We're all blood, blood brothers. We're all blood, blood brothers. We're all blood, blood brothers.
Friends, I ask you to join me in the attitude of prayer, whatever that means for you. After each phrase, please respond, as you're willing, with "We lift up our hearts." For all who die in war, we lift up our hearts. For all who live in suffering in the aftermath of violence, we lift up our hearts. For all who give their lives in smoke and flame, we lift up our hearts. For all who go on in honor of the dead, we lift up our hearts. For all who have served, we lift up our hearts. For our country and our world, we lift up our hearts. For a planet that will find peace, we lift up our hearts. For the young and the innocent, we lift up our hearts. For the weary and war-torn, we lift up our hearts. For those who would pray, we lift up our hearts. For those too angry to cry, we lift up our hearts. For all of us, for the many names of God or Spirit, we lift up our hearts. Shanti, shalom, peace. Amen. As we sit, hearts raised, I invite you to speak into this compassionate space the names of those who you hold in care this morning. May they, may you, may we all be blessed. Please join me in a moment of silence. Our reading this morning is entitled Us, Human, Here, from my beloved colleague and best seminary friend, Reverend Dr. Laura Solomon. The work begins with a quote from Araceli Girmay. You at the edges and shores, in the rooms of quiet, in the rooms of shouting, in the airport terminal at the bus depot saying no, and each of us looking out from the gorgeous unlikelihood of our lives at all, finding ourselves here, witnesses to each other's tenderness, which this moment is fury, is rage, which this moment is another way of saying, you are who I love. You are who I love. You and you and you are who. As we collectively attempt to process the trauma, pain, and senseless violence of the past week, I find myself repeating Araceli Girmay's phrase, you are who I love. I'm thinking about how heavy the world feels and how hard it is to breathe under that weight. I'm thinking about self-care and the ways we talk about it and the ways we don't. It's easy to accept the weight of the world's suffering into our hearts and onto our bodies. It is easy to become heavy with the burdens of the world. You are who I love. Many believe that religion is the place where we find answers and meaning to the unanswerable questions. For some, religion is the place where answers to the unanswerable questions about evil and violence, death, injustice, and cruelty reside. My Unitarian Universalism doesn't give me answers to unanswerable questions, but does give me a faith big enough to hold my questions in a place beyond answers. To be human is not to have answers. To be human is to feel as though the enormity of sorrow, anger, grief, and pain will pull me into the undertow. My Unitarian Universalist faith reminds me that this is simply the way of it. Our hearts are meant to crack open under this enormity of grief. Because of this cracking and unknowing, because of this stumbling and holding one another, you are who I love. Us, human, here, breaking and crying, crumbling and loving still. You are who I love. Your tenderness, your rage, your hope and hopelessness, your justice seeking, your protesting, your loving us anyway. You are who I love. We do not need to fear the how of putting back together. We will come back together because it is what humans have always done. Fallen apart, witnessed the crumbling, come together and tethered ourselves to each other. We are an angry and beautiful people. We hold our questions, our rage, our not knowing, our loss, our devastation, and even in the uncertainty, we know we are made to hold one another. You are who I love. Thus ends the reading.
There was a time when my suitcase and I were in an intimate relationship. It started with my first real job. It had me out on the road 3 weeks out of every month. 2 cities per week, 2 days per city. As a result, airports became my natural habitat. I had elite status on several airlines. I knew the best bagel in LaGuardia, the best chairs to nap in at LAX, and at least some of the secret passageways underneath Denver International Airport. That's totally a thing, by the way. Now, despite rumors to the contrary, I was, and still am, an introvert. Partly because of all the peopling that travel entails, I would board my flight, find my seat, then immediately set up my personal entertainment devices, and then slap my headphones on. 20 years later, I still do this when I travel. It's not intentional, and I don't mean anything by it. It's just a reflex. But I suppose if there was a neon sign floating above my head, it would probably read, "Do not disturb." And I know this about myself. And that's why it's always a surprise when a seatmate taps me on my arm. Now, this was a couple of years ago, post-pandemic. Naturally, I had assumed that I was sitting on her seatbelt because there was no other valid reason she'd be interrupting the 19th replay of the Marvel movie Ant-Man. But when I looked up, I saw immediately that she was a nervous flyer. Hopeful look in her eyes. I was trapped, a fly in amber, stuck in my window seat with no avenue for escape. So I pulled out my earbuds and I said hello. For the next half hour, we talked. I distracted her, made her laugh, even landed a couple of decent jokes, right? It was good. We shared anecdotes about family, life, and politics. It turns out we had very similar views on very many things. And sharing these views seemed to calm her anxiety significantly. But then, inevitably, came the question. So, what do you do for a living? As you may know, I've been a lot of things. So it briefly occurs to me that maybe I ought to lie. Not because I don't love what I do for a living, or that I don't absolutely adore on-the-fly theological deconstruction of Christian dogma, as you do, or that I'm nervous about sharing why phenomenology is total baloney. None of that, no problem there. But because I'm a minister, people tend toward one of 2 things. On the one hand, they may spontaneously tell me things, like that time on St. Patrick's Day at the bar when a whole bunch of Catholics spontaneously confessed to me. That was surreal. But sometimes it goes a different way, and this was one of those times. I confessed that I was the minister of a church, a pastor, a priest, and my seatmate blinked, said, "Oh." And that was the end of that. A few moments later, I found myself turning back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Look, I get it. When people, when I say church to certain people, they don't hear what I might mean by that. And that's hardly a surprise, because it doesn't take a historian to describe how the loudest religious voices in America today are the voices of condemnation and judgment, voices of exclusion, voices that equate God with fear, faith with control, and religion with violence. Religion in today's America is monolithic, at least from the outside. It's one thing. And for many Americans, it is not a force for good. To be fair to that historian, this is not a new trend. Back in 1741, our neighbor over in Northampton, the congregational minister there, Jonathan Edwards, preached a barnstormer of a sermon with the title, "Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God." It was hugely popular, reprinted all over the country with cover art. It sparked the Great Awakening in American spirituality, and it was not an exalting sort of message. In his sermon, Edwards told us that we humans spend our brief lives dangling over the fires of hell, held aloft only by the thinnest of threads, and that we could fall into the eternal fire at any moment. It's good stuff. Now, we don't talk much these days about the backlash that came to these kinds of sermons, to the backlash that came to that hell and damnation crowd. And there was a backlash. In the late 19th century, another Congregationalist minister, William Gladden, along with a friend of his, Baptist minister Walter Rauschenbusch, proposed that we ought to do church really differently. Together, these two helped launch the social gospel movement. They and others like them taught us that heaven was something we humans had to make, not after death, but right here, before death. Poverty and exploitation, these were sins of modern society, and they should be countered with Christian love, charity, and compassion. The pursuit of individual spirituality should never take precedence over systemic change. Orthodoxy was just not as important as orthopraxy. That is, thinking right does not come before doing right. Thinking right does not come before doing right. Human progress, that onward, upward, forever trend in history, would only depend on us choosing to bend the arc of history ourselves. And guess what? Average folks ate it up. The social gospel set the nation ablaze. And for a brief moment, liberal religion was changing the world. 2 world wars later, however, showed us what horrors humans are capable of, and hell was suddenly back on the menu. The stink of that sulfur has not washed out of American religion since. And today things are different. Repentance has fallen completely out of favor. Sin and evil are getting some Orwellian makeovers. And our wealthy jet plane flying televangelist leaders are telling us with straight faces that empathy is a sin, that compassion is weakness, that caring too much undermines the strength of our nation, that mercy leaves us vulnerable, and that love is the wrong way to understand the teachings of Jesus. And that may be why my seatmate recoiled in alarm when I confessed that I was a man of God. And really, who can blame her? For the record, recent events in American religion have left me completely bamboozled, baffled, and bewildered. And it's not just me, is it? Unitarian, Universalists, and all our friends in other sympathetic liberal religions, they're hearing the news, reading the absurd claims, and jumping out of their seats saying, "Now hang on a dang minute. Do we have to start another Great Awakening?" They're going to make us do another Great Awakening, aren't they? I think they are. My friends, current events would be laughable if it weren't all so dangerous. But let's do the numbers. 1, without empathy, we cannot love. 2, without compassion, we cannot build community. And 3, without mercy, there can be no justice. Just so we're clear, 1, 2, 3. To also be clear, to call empathy a sin is not only an insult to the human spirit, it is a heresy against every great religious tradition the world has ever known. Hebrew prophets thundered against injustice not out of some cold detachment, but out of compassion for the widow and the orphan. Jesus himself wept for Jerusalem. The Buddha taught karuna, the practice of compassion. Islam lifts up Rama, mercy, as a name of God. If we strip religion of empathy, what's left is cruelty baptized in holy water. And that, my friends, is a church I do not belong to. It's kind of funny if I think about it. No one ever really asks me why I'm here, why I do ministry. I do have a story, it's a good one, about my family, my wife's family. We have priests and pastors all over the place. So the joke is that this is the family business. And to some extent it is. But the fact that both my father-in-law and brother-in-law were Episcopal priests is not why I came back to church. I didn't come looking for God. I wasn't seeking ultimate meaning. At that point in my life, I didn't much care about truth with a capital T. I came because I was lonely. Lonely in the way many of us get as life moves on. When I was 20, I had a wide circle of friends. At 30, that circle had shrunk by half. At 40, it was half again. Careers, marriages, moves, kids, divorces, deaths. Life trims the circle until one day you realize that circle has gotten awfully small. 2 years ago, the U.S. Surgeon General told us something many of us had suspected. Loneliness is an epidemic, and it's a deadly one, too, because loneliness carries the same health risks as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, and early death. And loneliness is everywhere. Like many of you, Julia and I realized somewhere in our 40s that we needed something more than the grind of work and family and repetitive exhaustion. We needed connection. We needed community. We needed friends. So she dragged me. Yes, dragged me to church. She wanted to sing. I wanted to sleep in. She was determined. I was too. So off we went to church. And much to my surprise, I found something I didn't know I needed. I found people. I found belonging. An introvert found a place to bring my own longing and have it met with welcome. I found a home. Truth is, church isn't the answer. I know there are many good, worthy, and healthy answers. But church can be an answer. To my eternal surprise, it turned out that church was my answer. And I am done apologizing for it. But let me be clear, belonging was not always easy. It never is, because the road to community is not ever smooth. You cannot avoid disagreement. For the record, communities without disagreement are not communities. They're cults. And that's also how you know a Unitarian Universalist congregation is not a cult. We don't agree on anything. But one thing I think more of us agree on than not is our wider culture. Our wider culture celebrates disagreement, celebrates it, it thrives on it. And what once may have been cheerfully debated over coffee or the water cooler now routinely divides families, alienates friends, and demonizes strangers. It is profitable to disagree. It is profitable to amplify disagreement, to push disagreement into anger, to feed anger more anger, and to suggest outlets, targets, enemies. It's even more profitable to manufacture fear, to label enemies, to make them multiply, to glorify violence as strength, to mistake cruelty for courage, to set the whole house on fire, even though we have forgotten we have to live there too. But here, in this house of love, we get to say no. Violence is not strength. Cruelty is not courage. And community is not mindless uniformity. And we should not have to apologize for that. One of my Midwest neighbors, the UCC minister Lillian Daniel, made this very clear to me in her 2016 book, Tired of Apologizing for a Church I Don't Belong to. It was a barnstormer of a sermon. Her message resonated so strongly with me because she's right. Liberal churches like ours, like First Parish, we spend so much time clarifying what we are not, so much energy distancing ourselves from the ugly and the stupid, the grifters and the mean-spirited, that sometimes it feels like all we do is apologize for existing. I've done this myself. I wanted to do it with that stranger on the plane. Ever since I went back to church, I have found myself saying things like, yes, I know what you've heard, but that's not me. Yes, I know what you've heard, but that's not my church. Yes, I know what you've heard, but that's not who we are. But today, friends, I think I'm done apologizing. I think I'm done. Why should I apologize for a church that doesn't hate people? Not women, not children, not gay or trans people, not immigrants, not outsiders, not anyone. Why should I apologize for a church that shows up for justice, that believes history bends towards love, that insists the world can be better than it is? Why should I apologize for a church that welcomes the stranger, honors the doubter, and makes room for the skeptic? Why should I apologize for a church that admits it doesn't have all the answers, that confesses when it falls short and then tries again? Because that is the church I belong to. And that, my friends, is why I'm here. Because this moment, this year, this ministry we now begin together, this is another chance for us to practice something our world, our nation, our community desperately needs: belonging. The epidemic of loneliness has not gone away. The attacks on compassion have not gone away. The temptation to answer division with violence has not gone away. But here, in this place, we get to choose differently. We get to choose belonging over division. We get to choose compassion over cruelty. We get to choose empathy over courage. We get to choose love over hate. We get to choose each other. Because we know that the world is better when we are together. We know we are better when we are together. We know this place will not change the whole world. But for the people who walk through these doors, lonely, weary, wondering if they matter, we need to remember we can change their whole world. And that is no small thing. So, look around. Really, just look around. Scan these faces. These are your companions, your challengers, your comforters, your co-conspirators in hope. And so here's my invitation to you this week. Try belonging on purpose. If you see someone here you don't know yet, introduce yourself. If you get an invitation to join something, a choir rehearsal, a new committee, a covenant group, a dinner party, try saying yes, even if you're nervous, even if you're an introvert. Just once, try belonging and see what happens. And here's the second part of my invitation. Let compassion be your rebellion. When the world calls empathy weakness, make it your protest. When the world names compassion a sin, let your kindness be your defiance. This week, live so that someone else remembers they are not alone. Let me say that again. Live so someone else remembers that they are not alone. That is the church I belong to. A church that risks belonging, a church that practices compassion, a church that chooses connection. We are a church, and we do not apologize for love. We do not apologize for hope. We do not apologize for courage. We are not strangers lost in the dark. We are the beacon for the lost. We are the sanctuary for the weary. We are the chorus for the voiceless. That is who we are. And we shouldn't have to apologize for that. Not anymore. Amen.
Let's rise and sing our closing hymn from the Gray Hymnal. It's 300, With Heart and Mind. Please rise in body or spirit.
we extinguish our chalice this morning with Faith Like a Light by James Galasinski. Our faith like a light illuminates the path before us so that we can face hurt with love, cultivate compassion, live humbly in community, and confront despair with the awe of life. Though our flame is extinguished, our flame and our faith shines bright before us.
I guess that's it.